How's
Let's
it
do it
going,
this way.
man? Joaquin Buckley on the channel
You
on the
already know,
MMA
bro.
Guru Show. Uh,
Yeah, bro. This is what everybody been asking for. I see a bunch of people in my comments, all on social media, man, talk about hit up MMA Guru. So I'm glad that we able to make this happen, bro.
yeah,
Good
I,
collab.
I know. I noticed you did a little pit stop with Demetrius Johnson first.
Yeah,
Got there before
of
me.
course,
The GOAT gets
of
the
course.
first scoop. It's all good. I'll take
Exactly. You
second
know what I'm
place.
saying? So good connect though, because this is actually how we got this linked up. You
Mm,
know?
mm.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
DJ the GOAT making it happen. So how does it feel, Joaquin Buckley? All this time, I feel like your career has been sort of, we've been like, when is Buckley's getting back on track? Buckley's getting back on track. But now
Right.
Buckley's staying on track. We're finally at a point where this is the big moment, main event, Colby Covington, final card of the
Uh,
year. How does it feel to be in this
Look,
position, man?
man, on a real talk, I feel like for me and myself, everything that I've been pushing towards, I feel like it has came at this moment where I moved down to 170. I didn't have some good victories at 185 at middleweight, but a lot of them boys, you know what I mean, they were just getting a little too big, right?
Mm,
So even though I feel like I definitely had the skill sets where I feel like I was the better fighter, it's just, some people's attributes and their size can also, play, and whether you win or lose. So with that being said, I feel like, moving down, I don't feel like the size difference is there anymore. And I feel like, all my skill sets, man, I'm able to put it on these guys. And obviously, man, with me now being 5-0 in the welterweight division, the majority of my wins coming by finishes. It's just like I'm not trying to hear nothing from nobody, man. Right now it's my time. And the welterweight division, they in trouble. You know what
mm.
I'm saying?
And not only 5-0, but the 5 wins are getting more and more impressive each one.
That's 100%.
Last one, you KO in Wonder Boy. That's a
Yeah, yeah,
difficult task.
yeah. We had to get Wonder Boy up out of there. OG, right?
Yeah.
I feel like with the Wonder Boy fight, everybody loves Wonder Boy, and they
Mhm.
was excited for Wonder Boy to come back, and they thought that Wonder Boy would have had an easy lick with me, especially if I was be standing up on the feet with him. And I feel like with that being said, bro, this mixed martial arts, so you can take it wherever you need to. So me switching it up, me using the wrestling, me kind of backing him up against the cage, we was able to kind of transition and find that knockout.
Mm.
Obviously it's not easy to knock out Wonder Boy. The last person to do it was Anthony Pettis, and he was getting his ass whooped the whole time before he came off the cage and did some, Showtime shit. So with me, I feel like I systematically beat Wonder Boy to get that knockout, and that was the difference.
Mm. Even though the grappling wasn't like you weren't taking his back or anything like that, putting that thought in his
Yeah,
head when he backed
yeah,
up, that's mixing it
100,
up, man. Dropping his
100.
hands when he goes back, putting something else in his
Exactly.
head.
Because at the end of the day, we wasn't trying to submit my man, right?
No,
Like we
no.
wasn't trying to look for a submission, but I wanted him to worry about that wrestling. I wanted to wear him down. I wanted to slow him down. And I wanted to get us closer in order for us to touch that chin. Because he likes to slide out, he likes to move, he got good footwork. But in order for somebody to get tired, they gotta fight a fight they're not used to. And you already know he don't like to wrestle.
Mm. You got a target this weekend that's not as elusive as Wonder Boy and
Not at
does
all.
like to wrestle. How do you approach
Yeah.
that differently, knowing that Colby Covington's he ain't
Well,
Wonder
speaking
Boy?
of, before we even get to that, right? Because we had the Buck versus Cut, right?
Mm.
Like that should have been the main event in the first place, but they switched it up on us.
Mm.
But I feel like that transition and fighting in Gary, it was definitely two different styles. With Colby Covington being a pressure fighter, him being a wrestler, him having a good pace. But be honest with you, I feel like with the Kobe that we didn't seen in the last couple years, you know, he's like a shell image of himself, from back in the day, from when he fought RDA, from when he fought Mars Vidal and shit like that. Like, I don't
Usman.
think he's that same type of fighter. So with that being said, it's just like once I go out there, it's just I really feel like I'm gonna put on a type of performance that, it looked like Kobe gonna try to press charges on your boy, you know what I'm saying, after the ass whooping I give him. For real.
I just interviewed Colby, so now I'm gonna be here talking shit about
Let's
Colby
go.
about you. That's a
Hell
tough
yeah.
one,
What do
dude.
you say, man? He been quiet though. Like my man been an influencer right now. So
Yeah,
he been all on
he
Twitch
hasn't
and kick
been
and shit.
yeah, he hasn't been saying too much about you. He did have a message for you at the end of the interview I just did with him. He said to call you Buck Lips.
Buck lips. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, even the jokes, you know what I'm saying, slipping. You hear me? Like Buck weak, you know what I'm saying? Like
Mm,
want to be Tyler Creator. Like he
yeah.
got a bunch of jokes he can use. You didn't had a lot of good jokes. I ain't gonna lie, MMA Guru. I be paying attention. You be having some good little jokes. You
What
said
are
what
you?
you called me one time? Gremlin? What you called me? Yeah, nah, it was something.
I called you a goblin at one point, I think.
Goblin. Yeah, wild boy.
I think that was when you beat Vicente Luque, man. Luque's
Yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
favorite
You was a
fighter.
little
That was
upset. You was a
tough.
little upset though, you know.
I was
But at least
very
you
upset
funny with
about
your
that.
shit though. At least you funny
Yeah,
with
yeah,
it
yeah.
though.
That's tough. What do you think about that Luque fight in hindsight? He recently bounced back before because a lot.
uh,
I didn't give you credit for the Luque win because I was like, Luque's done. He looked like he quit in that fight, but now
right,
Luque's
right.
back. It's like actually Buckley probably
Yes, sir.
deserves the credit in hindsight for the Luque.
I had Vicente for the win for that fight over
Mm,
Themba. Themba really for me it was a perfect matchup for Vicente to really kind of show that he not washed. You know what I mean? That he's not scared to go out there and really kind of put it on that. Now it was a quick finish, but it was a great Vicente win.
mm,
Rocking the dude, get the dude hurt, have him come in for the wrestling, and that's the thing about them. But like when he shoots, he's not a great wrestler in the first place, but Vicente got great anti-wrestling when it comes to those darts and those anacondas. So once he rocked them, and once he locked in that darts or that anaconda, we knew it was a wrap after that. And that's actually how I picked Vicente to win was by
mm.
submission. You know what I'm
That's
saying? In the first
yeah.
round.
That's the
100%.
classic Vicente way. Hurt him on the feet,
Hmm.
snatch up the
Yeah, yeah.
darts, anaconda choke, latch it up, get it
Hmm.
done. That's cool.
Exactly. Right.
Cool. You mentioned Buck versus the Cock not happening.
Yeah.
I was rallying behind that
I know
fight, the
you
Buck
was.
versus
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Cock. That was a
They,
big
they they
fight for
still
me.
after you? They still after your platform?
There. I'm Ian Garry's whole troop ain't really a big fan of mine and what I get up to over
Uh,
here. But I'm not really a big fan of Ian either.
all right. So since you speaking about it, what you thought about the fight that happened with Shawkat and Ian Gear?
Ian Gary Shavkat, I thought it was. I don't know. They kind of painted the two of them out as the two boogeymen of the division, and they didn't. They didn't
They
look
ain't
like the
showed up.
two. They didn't look like the two boogeymen of the division, man. I thought like it was a good opportunity for him to have a showcase at welterweight, but they kind of dropped the
Right.
ball, in
No,
my
that they
opinion.
did, and I feel like that's a good thing for me, right? Because yet again, a good performance on my end, go out there and do something. Because yet again, even though I feel like Kobe ain't the same Kobe from back then, he still was a guy that kind of submitted his name. He still
Mm,
was a guy that became an interim champion. He's still a guy that fought for the belt 3 times. So I feel like the performance that I put on Kobe, the people that haven't been able to knock him out, when you talk about Leon, when you talk about Masvidal, when you talk about, shit, even Usman, right? Usman
yeah,
finished him, but he wasn't all the way out. I really
yeah.
feel like I can put Kobe away for good, and that should speak volumes. You know what I'm saying on my skill set, and then I could just put myself in a position where I could fight for that belt. You know what I'm saying,
Mm,
and leapfrog Shawkat because he got a little MCL tear anyway, so he might have to sit out. He might have to get surgery anyway. So
that's
with that
true.
being said, it's just like let's get ready for another fight, and this time it might be for a title with this win.
And it being such a forgettable fight in the co-main event, this one can
Right.
be memorable with a good finish, and it's the last card of the year as well. So this is going to be the
Come
last
on now.
memory.
Come on now.
This is going to be the
And
last
that
memory, last fight of the year until the next year, 2025. People aren't going to remember anything for the past 4 weeks other than this last fight. This is going to
exactly,
be the
exactly.
thing that leaves a
Right. And I feel
impression.
like everything has been coming together appropriately, right? We've been out here for a week now, been out here in Tampa, and we a lot of people been showing us love while we've been out here, man. They've been, taking care of us, been allowing us to work out at certain facilities. So I like to train around the time I'm gonna fight. So I'm literally gonna be set to walk out at midnight. So we've been
Yeah.
training real late, you know what I mean, and then being able to use these great saunas that these guys been providing us at Sorry Not Public. And so I'm just giving them a shout out. And then also I got my team down here, my solid foundation. I got my corners that's with me. So they also sacrificing that extra time, man, to be out here with me and just focusing on my journey. Because yet again, this main event, bro, this is the one that put me on. Like
Mm.
everybody want to talk about that one kick, but I feel like this is the fight right here that kind of changes everything and actually changes my life and changes my career for the better. So I'm just excited about this whole shit and this whole journey.
Yeah. You said it yourself. The kick is a huge moment in your career, but this is the big one. It's like in the UFC, I feel like it's sometimes people care what you do, but more importantly, it's who you do it to. And
100%.
Covington in a main event, that's the right who you do it to.
A hundred
Put
percent.
yourself at the
Yep.
top of the welterweight division.
Yep.
So what would you do if they didn't, let's say some crazy reason they didn't give you, if you knocked out Covington, they didn't give
Yeah.
you a title shot, what would be the next plan of action? You got Leon Edwards there, you got Kamaru Usman, you got JDM, few names at the top of the welterweight division.
Yeah.
Have
Be
you
be
put
be
any
honest
thought to
with
what's
you.
next?
Be honest with you. I don't see them having no choice. The UFC. They have no
Mm,
choice. Like especially because it's not usually the UFC that makes this decision. It's the fans, right?
Yep.
It's the fans. Like if they want to see me fight for a belt, which I'm sure they will once I beat Colby Covington in the fashion that I do, because obviously, you know what I'm saying, you even got security don't recognize Bilal and who he is. You know what I'm saying? You got to, you know, Joe Rogan had to give him a pass. Like, yeah, bro, let him in, let him in. He good, he good. So with that being said, it's just like people want to find that guy that is not just willing to promote and push out content, but that's also willing to fight. You know, like I'm the type of dude that it don't matter which fight that you watch, you don't get a different buck. You know, it's just like every fight, whether it's my wins or my losses, you get the same type of guy. And I feel like with that being said, it's just like when people spend their hard-earned money, like they willing to see a fight. Like that's what they didn't get from the Shycott and the Ian Garry. Like even though these dudes are they undefeated, like they built it up so much where we was expecting, oh, this is gonna be a war, this is gonna be a bang, you know what I'm saying, back and forth, but it wasn't. You know, you got two guys that was kind of tentative to do what they do, and guess what? That's the crazy part. Like with Ian Garry, it's just like I thought he was the better striker, so I thought he'll let his hands go just a little bit more. And then with Shavkat, you know, being that type of finisher, right? I thought that he was gonna be hunting to get the knockout, but he's trying to grapple and trying to make it to the judges damn near. You know what I mean? And I feel like with that being said, it's just both of those fighters did not live up to that moment, and they did not secure that bag, as I call it. But for me, I feel like I'm gonna go out there, man, do what I do, and it's gonna put the UFC in a situation where it's not about them wanting to give it to me; they gotta give it to me.
It was a weird fight between Shavkat and Garry because they're both undefeated, and it was like someone's
Don't
always got
nobody
to
want to
go.
get highlighted. That's all. Don't
Exactly.
nobody
Yeah,
want to
that's
get.
what it was.
I already been. Hey, look, I already been highlighted. I ain't scared. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Exactly.
Like it
It
don't
seemed
last
like
that long.
both of them were fighting like not to lose rather than to
Exactly.
win in a way. Especially Ian. I thought Ian was gonna, as you said, let his hands go a bit earlier, but it seemed like he was just like, don't get taken down, don't
Yep.
get knocked out. That was kind of his
Mhm.
mindset for the first 2 rounds until he started kind of feeling himself as the fight went on, you know?
Exactly, exactly. You know, I don't know what's up with Shycott though, man. Shycott was in there, you know what I'm saying, just grabbing for dear life. You know, damn near pulled my man shorts off. Like, no, did it.
That was,
Wow.
he did. He genuinely did rip his shorts nearly off in the fight. Have you ever
Crazy.
that I've never
Nah.
seen something like that
That
before
was
in
the
a
first
fight.
time I ever seen something like that happen. And then
Yeah,
they
that's
had to
strange.
like, all right, but that's crazy. I give them that though. They was quick to find some new shorts for my man. It was like, yeah,
Yeah.
put these on.
They were
Same color and
ready for the
everything.
occasion.
Same color and everything. It's a wild
Mm.
word.
Yeah, that's what they had, spares ready to go on hand. Really
Yeah.
strange, really
Yeah.
strange. Really strange. How was your interview with Demetrius Johnson anyway? The GOAT. I've been
Hey,
doing some
interview.
collabs with him.
No, yeah. Interview was good. You know, getting to speak to the GOAT himself. Somebody that you know has submitted his name. I feel like having a situation where I'm recognized by a guy like that and being able to be on his platform and kind of speak to the world about who I am. You know, yeah, the interview went real good. You know, and now I'm able to speak to you and kind of reach out to the other audience and shit like that. I feel like yet again, this is just another revamp and like you know, a new chapter in my game, you know what I'm saying, that I kind of build into. Yeah.
So at the start of the real story. You know what I mean? This
Yeah,
is where it counts,
100%.
you know?
100%. You know, because yet again, I think a lot of people got a bad idea of like me as a fighter just because at 185. And people don't understand that I only went to 185 because it was the opportunity, you know. Like I'm not the type of fighter that will try to not take an opportunity because I feel like, oh, it's not gonna be the best. You know, like bro, any opportunity that you get, bro, you might as well just take it because you never know when the next one gonna come. So with that being said, it's just like with me fighting at 185 and me having my ups and me having my downs, you know, I never allowed that to stop me from having the mentality to always take those opportunities. Cause now I'm doing the same thing at 170. I've been, be honest with you, I don't know about anybody else, but I feel like I've been the most active fighter within the roster because I've been able to acquire 15 fights in 4 years. You
Yeah.
know, so but that's only with the opportunity by taking fights. Now, yeah, you taking more of a risk, obviously, right? But if you're
Yeah.
not betting on yourself and if you don't believe in yourself, you know what I'm saying? Like you're never gonna make it far in this game anyway. So I feel like that's the only thing about me that I feel like I can make that transition with now moving down to 170 that to show people how great I am when it comes to this fight game.
Yeah. Colby Covington, he's a wrestler. He's a good wrestler. I don't think he's like too much on the fit. Like I don't think he has much physicality, but his technical wrestling is very good. I think a lot of people underrate your wrestling. You know, I've been watching your
Appreciate it.
wrestling. I saw your wrestling in the fight with Abdul Razak Al Hassan. Even though he's not the credentialed wrestler, I saw good scrambles. And then Durayev,
Thank you.
another
Yeah.
one of your fights where it was really good take, and he's a Dagestani guy. no
Hmm.
mustache, full beard and all, stuffing
Yeah.
takedowns off him. And then even Sultan Ruzaboev has background in grappling, and you were taking him down in the fight. Do you think people underrate the grappling part of your game because they see you
I
swinging
think
hard on the
so,
feet?
but I think that'll change once they see what happens in this fight. You know,
Mm.
I'm comfortable being in a grappling situation. I'm comfortable with pushing the wrestling pace. It, a lot of guys they scared to grapple certain individuals because they don't want to get tired. I feel like for me, the pace that I put on in the training room is kind of like a lot of guys don't push as hard as me. And I
Mm.
have never shown the actual shit that I do that's outside of the cage that makes me a threat in the cage because I'm able to keep this type of pace that's not just aggressive, that's not just, damaging shots, but I'm able to keep it at the same volume,
Yeah,
Like with the Wonder Boy fight is a great example. The way I came in the first, the same way I came in the second, the same way I was coming in the third. Like it's hard to kind of slow me down because I work on my conditioning so much. And the only way you can work your conditioning and to be great like that is to wrestle. You got to.
yeah,
Ain't no other
yeah.
way, So I'm definitely up for the challenge to see what Kobe got for me. But yeah, you might see a couple shots out of me. Yeah.
That mix it up on Covington, putting Covington on his back early
Exactly.
in the fight. That game's a little
Exactly.
bit
Good switch up.
disorientated to start it up. You did hill sprints as well for the cardio. Another example of your cardio was the Morono fight that
I
you had.
appreciate that. Yeah, yeah.
First two
Because the
rounds of that
values
fight.
went up. Like that's the thing. Like I
Yeah,
started to pick up the pace, as
yeah,
time goes on. Yep.
yeah. First two rounds of the Morono fight, I was like, it's not the best performance this first two rounds. But in the third round, I was like, oh damn. I
Hmm.
thought, judging by you, I thought,
Yeah.
oh, this guy's not gonna get better as the fight goes on. Big,
Hmm.
powerful dude, swing
Right.
hard,
Right.
put
Right. Right.
everything into the
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
shots, big footwork movements. And I was like, oh, this guy, the third round's going to be the round where people have the chance. But you turned up the pace on Morono in the third,
Hmm.
pick up the pace on other fighters in the third as well.
Yeah.
Cardio alongside the power is a problem for a lot of these welterweights.
Exactly. And what you saying, like with the Alex Morono, it's just like, I also realized that I can be patient, right? Like I
Mm,
knew that I didn't have to rush anything with Alex Morono, because yet again, he could have spunked me around. Like Alex Morono is a nice fighter. He's a good fighter.
mm,
As much as people want to, give him shit, like I think he's a great fighter. And he has the ability that if you try to rush him, if you try to, overextend your punches, if you reach too much, that he can clip you. So we had to fight smart in the first and the second round. But once he got tired, once I seen him slow down, that's when we picked up the pace and we picked up the value. Because yet again, I think I learned a lot from my 185 fights that even when I was winning, I was just pushing the pace too much. Like
mm.
even with the Chris Curtis fight, like I felt like I was winning, and then I felt like I had to do more still, which I really didn't have to because I was already winning the fight. Like sometimes I could dial it down, right,
Yeah.
to set up those next shots. I don't have to keep that tempo going so fast and being on a gas pedal so fast, right? I can slow things down. I can pick my shots, especially if I'm winning, and then I can find that knockout, later on.
Yeah. Sometimes the three rounders, though, you feel like you got to fit a lot into the fight. You know what I mean? It's like
Right.
you've only got 15 minutes, and before you know it, you're two rounds in, you got 5 minutes left. It could be 1-1. So oftentimes you
Exactly.
do rush, but this time you got 5 rounds. You
Right.
can
That's
figure
true
things
too.
out.
Yeah.
You can take a
Right.
round back. You got two
Yeah.
more after the third. Five
Yeah,
rounder
I
changes
believe
things
I
up.
believe in this fight. We be honest with you, there's not been any nervous energy, and be honest with you, it's been like that for my past 5 fights. I'm not gonna lie to
Mm,
you, it's been like this. I've been out here having a good time in Tampa. I've been doing a watch party live. I just got done doing my podcast with my brother Edric Dillard with Brick Brother Podcast, and then as well I got an open workout that we doing on Wednesday. So we been busy out here.
mm,
And I feel like for me, there's a lot of fighters that aren't willing to do that because yet again, it's that anxiety, what I'm saying? It's that build up, that nervous energy. Like my coach Reg ended up seeing Colby Covington. I haven't gotten to see him yet, but he ended up seeing him in person. But he looking like real nervous, just sitting up on the wall, just random.
mm,
But he doesn't look like that same character that he tries to portray on the camera. So with that being said, bro, I'm good just to be me. And I feel like once I go out there and step out in that cage, bro, I can just let this shit go. And it's
mm.
gonna be a fun night.
Yeah, he's a dog though. A lot of people look at the character, they see Covington and they think, this guy living up to the character, and then you see he's got that spite in him, and when he starts getting hit, he gets
Yeah,
like almost
yeah,
wants it back. Like in the
right.
Usman fight, the first one, Usman was hitting him
Yeah,
with some good shots, and he's like,
yeah.
nah, I'm swinging back, even with his
But no,
jaw.
but you got it. Like that's one thing about me. I love a dog fight.
Mm.
Love a dog fight, bro. Like, let's get it. I want that. Like, I don't want you to be, you know what I'm saying, soft, you know? Cause ain't no pride in that type of win. Like I want you to fight back. You know what I mean? I want you to give me your best. I hope this is the best version of Kobe. You know, that at least that's what he's been saying. At least that's what he's been claiming. He said he needed this year off in order to really find himself and find his true, you know what I'm saying, whatever purpose and kind of redefining himself in order to get this belt. Please let that be, because I still gonna whoop that ass.
Mm.
Right. And if I'm able to beat that best version of Kobe yet again in the fashion that I do it, then what does that say about me, right? Over Leon and Kamaru Usman, who couldn't do what I did.
That's true. That's true. Very true. It's a good time to set the standard on how to beat Covington in this fight week. Have you got any fight week antics planned? Normally you have something. Last time I can't remember what it was. You were at a pool
y'all
party
be
or
thinking
something?
my shit be playing.
No.
I can go with the flow. Like I'm gonna have to feel it, you know. So
Okay.
yet again, I can't wait because I think we face off Wednesday. Yeah, tomorrow. We face off tomorrow for the first time. So actually, this will be my second time meeting him again, because I met him before when I used to train out there at MMA Masters, just to go check out their gym. I was out in Miami for a short time.
Mm.
And when I first met him, I didn't know what to expect, whether it was the character or just a regular guy, just a regular dude, man, normal motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, all right, this is a chill dude. I was like, hey, Kobe, you know what I'm saying? Because this is right before he had his fight, or the second fight with Kamaru Usman, you
Mm.
know? And I was like, hey, I can help you train for this one, bro. We should get some work in. Yeah, man, I would love to, bro. Yeah, let's do that. So I'm like, hey, what time you trying to link up? Oh, we got sparring around this time. I'm like, I bet I'll be here. So that's the thing. When I was out in Miami, I made sure to train. Like, that's the only thing I'm focused on is training. So I made sure to stay in that gym. And I was just like, damn, Kobe ain't popped up. Like, what's good? So I ended up seeing him the next day. I was like, hey, man, missed you during sparring. Oh, man, I got you next time, bro. I'm gonna be up tomorrow. I'm like, all right, cool. Do the same shit. I wait at the gym. He don't show up. But that's the funniest thing. I was down there for damn like 2 weeks, barely see my man going to that gym. And then I ended up talking to his coach. I'm like, hey, bro, Kobe train? He's like, oh, Kobe be on his own time, you know? But I just find it funny how he didn't want to get no work in with me, no sparring, no rolling, no, you know what I'm saying? Like no
Mm.
live situations. Like my thing is with Kobe, it's just like he's not the type of guy to actually try to train uncomfortable. He don't want to train with the young guys. He don't want to train with the guys that he feel like might put him in bad position, you know? And with that being said, it's just like that's why the reason why he's not gonna win this fight.
Mm.
Because I'm always in the room and I'm always in the gym, man, training with the young bucks. You know what I mean? Making sure that I keep that hunger, keep that dog in me, because these dudes be hungry every single time. They be looking to show out on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't give a fuck about that kick, bro. I'm about to show out on you today. But Kobe ain't that type of dude. You know what I mean? He tries to train comfortable. He tries to put himself in a situation where he just want to do his own thing, you know? And I feel like that's going to be his detriment. And I feel like that's been his detriment this whole time leading up. That's why he could never succeed. And that's why he could never get that title, because he been
Mm.
doing his own thing.
That's in a way the accidental from him, the ultimate compliment to you though. The fact that he was acting like that about sparring, he sees the
100%.
threat. He wouldn't have cared not to show up to sparring if he didn't see you as some kind of threat
Right.
or danger to him or
But this is
someone who
before
could
I even
score
moved
on
down
him.
to 170 though, right? But I heard what you're saying though. That's
Yeah,
100%, you know? Because also you got to play it safe when sparring with guys. But I told him, I was like, bro, we could just wrestle.
yeah,
I was like, bro, we ain't even got to spar. We could just wrestle. Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, I see you at the never popped up, you know?
damn.
So it is what it is. And actually, I don't even know if he training with MMA Masters no more. Like my man moving around, like he doing his thing. Like,
So
so
where would he be now if not
that's
MMA
a good
Masters? I
question.
never
No, that's
asked
a
him.
good question. Because the team that I asked my boy Reg, I said, oh, was he with this dude named Danny or this dude named Caesar? Because Caesar got a unique look to him. He got his hair slicked back, got a little ponytail and shit
Ponytail.
like that,
Yep,
right?
I
You know what I'm
know.
talking
Cesar
about.
Valverde.
But he ain't seen with him, but he's seen two different coaches. And then they just posted a video called UFC Journey today, and he ain't had those guys in there. So I think he
Hmm,
switched up teams again, you know?
damn.
Yeah, because
Damn.
you gotta
Trouble in
realize a lot of
paradise.
guys was leaving. I'm not gonna say because of Kobe, but just because of that, you know what I'm saying? Like the shit that the vibes that they be giving and all the attention that they probably give to Kobe because he the breadwinner. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people just up and go. You
Yeah.
know?
The team, maybe the gym became focused around him a little bit. Is their
Yeah, too
golden
much, a
child a
little
little
too
bit,
much.
the title
Yep, a little
fights
too
back
much.
to back. I
Yep, but
mentioned
then
your no, what you gonna say?
no, you good, but
Yeah,
you can only make so much money off of somebody that's only fighting once a year.
that's true. That's true.
You
What do
know?
you think about the activity? Because you're on the opposite end of the spectrum. How key is that for a fighter at the top level?
Oh man, man, it's so important. I would say you can start to slow down a bit once you get up there,
Yeah.
but it's still you still gotta have some activity, bro. Like at least twice a year, but once a year, I think like come on, bro. And especially if this is the only way you get paid. For me, I can't speak to no other fighter, but this how I eat. This how I provide for my family. So when I'm really sitting out, you know what I'm saying? Like I ain't making no money. So this is why having activity, this is why being in the cage. And to be honest with you, this is how you get comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? Like I think a lot of guys still have anxiety, like I said, when they walk out to that cage and when they going out and having to perform because they're not used to it. I treat it as if it's sparring, like to a certain degree, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, I do this shit every day, you know? So once it's time to show up and show out, like it ain't nothing to be nervous about. It's just like let's go out there, have fun, man, and go out there and do what we do best, you know. So I think activity is very important in this game.
It's a difference. Your mindset is I just did this a few months ago. Covington's mindset might be going into I ain't done this in a
The whole
year.
year, and you got your ass whooped, low key, you know.
Yeah. So your memory of it before is going to be your last impression of what happened when you entered the cage as well.
Exactly. Yeah, it's
And
up there, man.
yours
What
is
you
going to
order,
be a
man? What you
KO
get to
over
eat?
Wonderboy. Who's this?
This is my boy Edric right here.
Some wings, some pizza.
Yeah, my brother with the Brick Brother podcast.
Okay.
Yeah. So we
What's
just
up, bro?
shot our
How's it
video.
going?
Yeah. So I'm on your show, but you got to come back on our show after the win. You hear me?
Okay. After the
Yeah.
win. That's confidence. After the
No,
win.
no. Most of.
No
Yeah.
ifs.
Because you ain't gonna come on the show if we lose.
No way. No way. You're right there. No way.
Uh-huh.
But yeah. The antics on fight week. I know I mentioned it earlier. You said you don't plan the antics on fight week. A lot of people give you shtick for the antics on fight week.
I don't know why.
I don't get it either. It's fun. Even Jamal Hill. Your boys with Jamal Hill.
Yeah.
I've been kind of defending Jamal Hill in a jokey way, but
I appreciate you.
I've been
Man.
defending
Because
Jamal Hill.
he been taking a lot of negative energy, man. And I get it
Yeah.
though. Yeah.
Jamal Hill's taken some slack from the MMA community recently, but I like it. It gives us something. I'm a fan of the sport. I'd rather that than nothing. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Some
That
kind
part
of
right there,
interaction.
like you got to create storylines, man. You got to get feedback, and also yet again, you got to stir up some type of drama, within the fight, because what are people tuned in for? You know what I'm saying? What is going to get people to really be emotionally invested in the fight, So, and yet again, that's why, I can't get mad at Colby for creating this character, because yet again, he got a lot of people to tune in. Like, you see him out here with Donald Trump. You see him out here with Balboa, you know what I'm saying, at a Christmas party or something, wherever the hell they was at. But like all that happened because he talked,
Yep.
But regardless if you agree with it or not, it got the attention that was needed. And I feel like for myself, I don't have to make up a character. I ain't got to do no extra shit. I just be myself, you know what I mean? And just yet again, my character as well is the same type of person that's in that cage, right? So it kind of works out in both, because it's one thing to kind of promote a fight and be kind of brash and have this crazy personality, but then not go out there and perform, right? I feel like my personality and my performances all kind of, work together. And that's why eventually, I'm saying, I'm going to eventually fight for that belt pretty soon.
Yeah. I wanted to talk when it comes to the antics and the backstage moments that you create. I mean, one of them, I remember you were at a pool party at one point, going crazy, and everyone was saying he ain't taking it serious. He's doing this, he's doing that, he's getting drunk. Somehow they know you're getting drunk. You weren't getting drunk.
Right, exactly.
At a pool party. And another one of your antics, not antics, I don't know why I keep saying antics, but another one of your moments was you went up to Chimaev and Till backstage. I saw that clip recently.
Okay.
Isn't it funny how quickly the sport changes?
100%. Even then, with both guys. No, we're both guys, like you said. And that's the thing. There wasn't no antic. Like, I really was just like, trying to pull up and get a fight, because I felt like I was wasting a lot of time, even though at that time, like, I had just fought. I forgot who I had fought, but I was like, bro, I'm ready to get another one. But instead of waiting on the UFC, let me clock in, and let me make something happen. So let me invest this time in myself. I knew that Darren Till was going to be out there with Hamza, and I was like, bro, that's a perfect little matchup right now, because he's trying to come back. And I feel like a lot of guys would have had Darren Till picked, over me. So I feel like that right there, it would have made Darren Till kind of eager to want to fight me, right? Even though I got one of the best knockouts, him feeling like he got the size advantage, he has better striking and whatnot, and him and his ego, I feel like we could have pushed that fight and made it happen. But with that being said, it's just like a lot of people thought I was bullshitting and thought I was just trying to make some noise. But like, nah, like we trying to make shit happen, you know. And I didn't call out a lot of guys that, which is crazy, that I never really even got the opportunity to fight. But I feel like there should be more guys that really call their shots, you know, and kind of force guys' hands to be like, hey, look, you ain't got no fight coming up. I ain't got no fight coming up. Let's make some money together. And
Mm.
that's just that simple. Cause like that's the only thing, and I love my boy Jamal, but like you can't be aggressive with it. You know what I mean? Let's keep it business. Let's
Yeah.
keep it business. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
strictly. And once we go and have these conversations, and once we say what we say, because yet again, when Jamal came the way he came, what you know, obviously as for real, he don't speak no English. He
Yep.
threw the gloves, right? It's just like no. Let's save it for the cage and let's build this up. You know, and I feel like that switch, and if Jamal would have came like that a little bit more, people would have respected that a little bit more. You understand what I'm saying? Like instead of like, fuck it, we can fight right now type shit.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm glad you get the main event this weekend. I've been a fan. I know I talk shit. I talk shit
Yeah,
about every fighter.
you all right.
I
Like I
bet
said, at
money
least
on
you funny with it though.
fights. Yeah, I know, I know. I talk shit. I used to bet on fights a lot.
Yeah,
Someone would lose. I'd
yeah.
trash him,
See, I
call
used
him
to
a goblin.
look, I used to think you was fat though, but you a
Oh
big
yeah.
motherfucker though. Yeah, you got some
I'm
size
kind
for
of
you though.
built. I'm
Yeah.
kind of built. I'm kind of built. It
Cause
helps.
you train with Duplessis, right?
Yeah, I went to his gym. He was training for a fight camp, but I was there. I trained with his
Y'all get a little
teammate Cameron
spawn work
Simon.
in. Y'all get a little spawn work in.
Little pad work, little boxing work.
Little something.
You know,
Okay, all right.
influencer boxing might be coming up. You
Matter of
never know.
fact, I'm about to ask you. I was just about to ask you that. Would you do that?
I would do that. The money would have to be there. I think it's
Okay.
embarrassing, personally.
Uh-huh.
Whenever I see an influencer go to do that boxing thing, they
Right.
fight some other influencer who's been training for like 6 weeks. And then
Right.
they act like they're a fighter. And then on their
Right.
social media, they got like blood trickling down their face,
Right.
them up there with their gloves. So
And that's
it'd
the
have to
thing.
be worth it money
We
wise
were
for
just
me.
talking about Jake Paul, you know what I'm saying? Whether is he good for boxing or is he bad for boxing? You know, I think there's a mix of both, but I think overall he's bad for boxing because
Yep.
you have more influences, like you said, that just think they fighters because they training with one another. Now, I feel like if you feel like you're a fighter or you an influencer, find a real boxer to fight. You know what I mean? And help that boxer also get their name out there, but then also prove that, hey, I just fought this legit boxer and I just beat them. You know,
Mm.
like, and I feel like that can help, you know, be a cohesive, you know what I'm saying, relationship between the influencers and boxing, you know. But I think that's what's hurting it right now. All the influencers, you know, fighting each
Yeah.
other and they making more money than the actual boxers, which is crazy.
Yeah. Way more money than the actual boxers. I think
Yeah.
it's good in a way because it brings eyes to the sport, but it's bad because the eyes that it's bringing to the sport, they're seeing it the wrong way. If you know what I'm saying. You've
No,
got guys
I
like
get
Jake
exactly what you're
Paul,
saying. Yeah.
whereas you have to go through this tough road. So if
Right.
you brought eyes, people would see it and go, "Ah, fighting's a tough sport. It's going to be a
Right.
tough
Right.
road
Right.
ahead of me if I get into this." But
I
then
feel like when
they see the influences and they think it's going to be an easy road in
right.
fighting.
Exactly.
That's going
When
to be a tough
people
wake
watch
up call.
Javante Davis box or fight somebody, right, regardless of who it is, they be like, yeah, I probably don't want to go through that. But when they
Yeah,
look at Jake Paul box, they be like, ooh, I could do that, you
this
know?
seems fun.
So they get the wrong idea, they get the wrong image until they run into the wrong person, right?
Yep.
And really get a reality check, you know what I'm saying, in that ring. But I feel like, you know, at the end of the day, I feel like a lot of fighters can learn from influencers, you know. Yet again, I'm still doing my thing and trying to build content and trying to promote my name because yet again, you can't really rely on anybody else to do that. You got to focus on yourself and put yourself out there and then also be able to collab like we doing right now. And a lot of fighters just don't do enough of that, you know.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate because I feel like we all unique, you know, we all got unique stories, we all got unique personalities, but a lot of people don't know that, you know, because you don't put yourself out there, you know. And I think that's one thing that we missing in the fight game that will help out a lot of guys.
Yeah. You can go about it both ways as well. Pereira can grunt once or
Yeah,
twice at an
no,
interview
no,
and
no,
he'll get
no.
something from it, you know.
Show 'em,
Shama.
and get the whole world
Mm.
going crazy, you know.
Yeah, that's all it takes for some.
Yeah.
Really looking forward to the main event this weekend. I'm gonna wrap it up though.
No, you
We've
fine.
been
No, you
talking,
fine.
but I'm glad. I want to mention this at the end. You were being brushed off in your career.
Yeah.
Which is why I brought up the Til Chimaev exchange because they kind of just went, whatever. And then they said, who was that? Oh, I don't know who it was. They brushed you off. And then now you're in the main event spot against Covington.
Yeah.
And then Ian Garry even. I remember you were reposting that, which is why I was amped for the Buck versus the Cuck because I've done a lot of work in making Ian Garry to be the Cuck. But he brushed you off as well. Remember the interaction you had with him? Brushed you off. I'm not going to fight a guy ranked below me. And then all of a sudden, the matchup's made. If you win this weekend, Maybe it's your turn to brush some people off in the welterweight division. Start looking for
Uh,
the title elimination belt.
that's 100% right. I feel like yet again, the performance that Shavkat and Ian Garry put on, I don't think was worthy for somebody to fight for a title. But I know exactly what I'm capable of doing once I go out there and put on a performance that I know I can do, get a knockout over Colby Covington. Like, it's gonna cement my name that I need to fight for a title next. And yet again, it's not gonna be the UFC decision. It's gonna be up to the fans, man. The fans are gonna get me there. Because yet again, they know with every single fight that I have, that I go out there, man, and I put on the show, no matter what. And, you know, with those guys that you said, you know what I'm saying, was kind of like, you know what I mean, giving me the little shoulder and shit like that and kind of waving me off. It's just like right now, like my name and my performances are speaking for itself. So I look at everybody else's career like, you know what I mean, it don't match up to mine. The activity that I've been putting on, you know, the knockouts that I've been getting, like nobody has been doing what I've been doing in a short amount of time and actually going after it. Because yet again, I'm willing to risk everything on myself, you know what I mean? And whether I fall, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to live by it, but then also I'm going to stand up and be a winner, you know what I'm saying, when I get my hand raised and realize that all those chips I bet it on myself was damn near worth it, you know? So yet again, we're going for that title coming up next year, and I feel like, you know, the new year going to bring a new king, and his name is New Manson at the end of the day.
Yeah. What does New Manson mean?
New Manson, you got me on the spot. So it means new king. Yep.
Oh, okay.
So it's from the Mali Empire. No, you good? Yep.
I
So
know
this
Mali Empire.
Yeah. So the Mansa Musa, man. So one of the richest men of all time. So yet again,
he made
I'm looking to
the
take all the
places
gold.
bankrupt in Africa, right? He bankrupted a bunch of
because he had
places.
so much
He's
gold.
giving away so much gold. I've seen all that. Anyway, I got you body shot, TKO round 2. That's my prediction.
I like
last fight.
He
has Colby high and tight guard, hunched over, long torso, body shot to fit right in. I had you third round TKO against Wonderboy. So
okay, then. All right, so you cashed in.
All
right, man. Send something in my cash app though.
Yeah, sure. I will. Anyway, thank you for the interview. You probably won't see that money. I'll just be real.
All right, bro. Man, appreciate you, Mary Glue.
Cheers, bro.
Yep, appreciate you, dog.
No problem. Enjoy this weekend. See ya.
You already know.